Hi, my name is Dr. Chris Montanaro, and I'm going to go ahead and show some of the major functions of the PeakFitPro isometric exercises gym and the app that's associated with it. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on it, open up the app here, and walk through some of these functions. You won't be able to see my fingers, so I'll try to tell you as I go along. I'm going to start off right at the beginning, click on Create an Account, and I'm just going to keep this easy for the moment. We'll say test, test, email, test, at test.com. .com. Password's optional. When I'm working with patients, I'll use Office a lot just so everybody has the same password. Doesn't really matter for the moment. Okay, so you're going to put in all that information, choose whether you're male or female, put in your age, and depending on where you are in the world and what your favorite category is here, you can have everything measured in pounds or in kilograms. And you can set all of your basic information down here as well. So you have a countdown timer. The countdown timer is the amount of time before your exercise is actually going to begin. So if you need a little bit longer time, you're lifting by yourself, and you might need to use some straps to strap in for a deadlift or a lat pull down, you might want to increase that time for the countdown timer, 10, 15, 20 seconds, something like that. Exercise duration, most of my patients personally are doing 10-second long lifts. Some of the endurance lifts are being done for 3 minutes. And then the exercise, the percent drop, the default is set at 60, but you can change that as well, and I'll show you what that looks like as well. So for right now, I'm going to click Done, click Save, and we have created the account successfully. So I'll click OK. And now, to actually connect to the Bluetooth device on the gym, I'm going to click the On button of the Bluetooth device, and then I'm going to, at the very top, BLE device, click that. It shows up here in the window, and it says connected. It connects very quickly, shows me up at the top that I've got a 59% Bluetooth battery, and that'll last for a very, very long period of time there. So from here, you can go back to your account profile, you can go to your user history. In this case, what I'm going to do is go ahead and click the button on the bottom called Workout. Hit Workout, and what you're going to see is that it did an automatic calibration and zeroed things out. It's very, very sensitive. Any amount of weight on the load cell is going to see a little tiny bit of bouncing there, but very, very accurate. We'll start up at the top. You've got your name written up there so that you know that you're the person that's doing the lifts. If you're lifting in a group of people, for example. Exercise, right now, the default is the abdominal press, but I can click on abdominal press in that space there, and I get this drop-down menu. And there are tons of different exercises here, as you can see. Okay. So we can click on one. I'll just click on a different one. We'll say the bench press for the moment. And right underneath that position, I can click my position based on all of the settings here, and this will allow you to be in the exact same position every single time, and it'll record this for you. If you're not sure what the bench press looks like in the setup, I can click on the little eye next to the bench press here, and you can see a picture of the setup. Okay. Coming down a little bit further, since I just created this account, there is no last performance for the bench press, but it'll tell you the date of the last performance, what your peak was, the number of seconds, the total weight, and just all that information there. And you can see now the actual weight. Now this is live. This is telling me exactly what the weight is. So I can squeeze the load cell since I've got it in my hand at the moment, and you can see the changing there. And I just let go, so it goes back to 0. So it's a live look at what's going on there. Let's just say hypothetically that, oh, you've done a lift and it's drifting a little bit. I can click right in the middle of that circle, and I can re-tear it down to 0. And basically what it does is it takes 10 readings in a very short period of time, averages them out to 0, so that everything's starting from that baseline. The exercise duration, again, we set that as a default of 10 seconds. If I wanted to change that to an endurance lift, I can change that maybe to 180 seconds for some of the 3-minute lifts that I've been doing. But for the moment, for our purposes, we'll leave it at 10. Countdown timer, again, I can touch right in the very center of countdown timer. It's set for 5 seconds. We'll leave it there for the moment, but you could change that to whatever duration you want that to be. The other major function on this here switches from the top right-hand corner for the exercise duration going based on time, and on the bottom left-hand corner, it's based on percentage of drop. So what that's going to mean is, let's just say that you hit a peak on one of your lifts of 100 pounds. During the middle of your lift, the application is actually looking constantly for a new peak. So you hit 100 pounds, and then as you keep going, you're getting weaker and weaker and weaker. You drop off 60% from that is what it's set at right now. So once you hit 40 pounds and you drop below that, it's going to beep once and let you know that you've reached that level. and then you've got 3 seconds, maybe just in case you had to reset your hands or you took a breath and you dropped down just slightly. You've got 3 seconds to get it back above, or once you've dropped below that percentage for the full 3 seconds, then the lift is over. It'll beep 3 times and let you know that the lift is done. So you can switch back and forth between exercise duration and percent drop just by clicking on this little toggle here, and you can see the green box switch around the percent drop screen there. I can switch it back, untoggle the percent drop, goes back to exercise duration. Another nice function that we've added is that, let's say that you are doing an endurance lift, 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and you get started on your lift, and 5 or 10 seconds in, it just doesn't feel right. Your setup is wrong. You realize that you didn't go to the bathroom maybe before you did your lift, and you want to abort that lift. All you need to do on that bottom right hand side is click on the abort button, and you can get started again quickly and not have to wait for the timer to run down completely. So that's a nice function. But other than that, what we see here is what you get. You got a 10-second long lift. We've got our countdown timer. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just to give an example of what this would look like. You might not actually hear the beep itself on here, but there is a beep once the countdown timer signals the start of the exercise, and then after your exercise duration is done and you get down to 0, it'll beep again to let you know that your exercise is done. So I'll go ahead and click on that start button on the bottom left. 4, 3, 2, 1, and I increased my strength here. Go ahead, I'm lifting. Maybe I increase a little bit and hitting as hard as you can. 10 seconds is up, it beeps, it lets you know that. So then you can see here your current performance. It gives you the date, the time, the peak amount of weight that I hit when I was squeezing the load cell. It gives me the total amount. So it takes 1 reading per second, in this case for 10 seconds. And it tells you that their weight per second was 24.6 pounds per second. And since there wasn't a previous lift, there is no previous performance there. So what I'm going to actually do, and you can see the graph, scroll up just slightly, you can see what your overall progress and total weight was and your peak performance percentages. We don't have anything to compare it to, so let's go ahead and I'm going to click on next exercise, which will automatically create a tear. So I've got the tear function all in there. It goes back to abdominal press. So I'm going to switch it to bench press. And when I pull up the bench press, it automatically loads the fields. I know that my position was 12C. Tells me, like, all right, last time I hit a peak of 27.38. I know what I need to beat with my peak. I know I need to beat with my total amount. I did it for 10 seconds, so I'm going to have the same amount of time set for this one. And I'll go ahead and do one more lift so that you can see the comparison. So we've got 4, 3, 2, 1. It beeps. I'm lifting. I'm stronger the next time. Okay. Keep going, 2, 1, and excellent. So now you can see my last performance. You can see my current performance. So I had a peak of 27.38 pounds. For my last performance, my current performance was 43.66. If I want to know the percentage gain on that, I could just look right at the bottom. Overall total weight, I had 37.58% increase in the total amount of weight lifted. And then the peak was also 37.29%, going from 27 pounds to 43 pounds as far as those peaks as well. Everything is dated, timed for you. Another unique function that I just don't want to make this video go significantly longer during these lifts, but if you're going to do lifts that are 30 seconds or longer, on the very bottom you'll start getting a breakdown of every 30 seconds. So in this case, say I'm doing a 3-minute long lift, I'll get a breakdown of the totals at 30 seconds, 60, 90, 120, 150, and 180 seconds so that I can compare and see exactly where I start breaking down time-wise and be able to compare those from lift to lift. I can see a graph basically of what things are looking like there. It started off a little light. I went ahead and hit the peak there and dropped down a little bit, come up and dropping off. So you get to see exactly where your timing is working really well and give you a ton of feedback. Okay, I can go ahead and hit next exercise. Again, it'll tear down to 0 for me. Abdominal press. I'll switch it to bench press, and you can see my very last performance is the one with my increased numbers there. Okay, up in the top left-hand corner, click on that little menu. I can go to my profile, change my password, change any of my exercise duration or percent drop there. I can go back to the home page if I want to. I'm connected. I can add other accounts so that multiple people are able to lift at the exact same time. And I can go to the history. In this case, I've got 2 bench presses. I can see the dates. I can see the percent improvement on the peak, percent improvement on the totals, and I didn't do a percent drop lift, and they were done for 10 seconds. All right. I can select individual exercises based on which exercise, or I could just select all of them. Okay. From here, I select the information that I want to select. The top right-hand corner would be the export. Go ahead and I can create it as a PDF, and you can email it to your coach, email it to us, and we can take a look at your numbers for you and be able to go from there. Okay, so everything's all looking good here. I could click workout again and just re-tears for you, and you're ready to lift all over again. It's very, very quick to go from exercise to exercise. Bench press, bent over row, bicep curls, calf press with the belt. This has been my preference lately. And we've got examples both on video and on pictures of all of these different setups. Some neck exercises and all the different positions, running gaits, shoulder press, shoulder shrug, squat with the belt, probably my favorite lift on the entire machine. Some different swim-specific lifts, traditional squats, tricep press, and you certainly can add any of your own personal exercises as well to the list and have that continue as well. So this will give you a really good overview of the app, of a lot of its different functions and its capabilities. Thank you very much for listening, and I will look forward to answering any questions for you and having you be part of the PeakFitPro team. Thanks so much, and have a great day.